Two new ministers inducted in Assam cabinet. New minister Jantamalla Borwa gets PHE and tourism portfolios. Power Corporation, Indigenous and Tribal Faith and Culture for Nandita Garlosa. Presidential polls to be held on July 18th. Last date of nomination on June 28th. Counting on July 21st, announces ECI. India's daily COVID cases cross 7,000 mark for the first time since March. Around 40% single-day jump in number of infections. And Arunachal Pradesh Governor Brigadier B.D. Mishra meets village heads of insurgency-affected Longding district. Governor Mishra expresses concern over law and order situation in area. Hello and welcome to Northeast Live. I am Pooja and we start the bulletin with a big story from the region now. Well, floods and landslides are once again wreaking havoc with reports of damage to public and private property coming to the fore from several parts of Northeast. The worst affected have been Sikkim and Garo Hills region of Meghalaya. Now, coming to Meghalaya first, southwest Garo Hills and west Garo Hills have been hit hard by floods and landslides triggered by incessant rainfall since last night. In fact, at least 3 people, a woman and 2 minors, lost their lives at the village under Salmanpara police station in southwest Garo Hills following a landslide. The incident occurred at Jebalgri under Gambari block. The deceased have been identified as Pritish Marak, 12-year-old Almos Marak, and 3-year-old Imbi Marak. Another death has been reported from Bethasing block in southwest Garo Hills. As per inputs, the situation is grim in both southwest Garo Hills and west Garo Hills, with heavy rains causing landslides and flash floods in several parts of the districts. JCBs have been deployed to clear the debris. Meanwhile, flood waters have also led to destruction of infrastructure in several parts of Garo Hills. Well, this wooden bridge on your screens, which serves as a lifeline to as many as 12 villages in South Garo Hills, collapsed due to the raging flood water. Take a look.
বকুৰা ফলত গাঁৱৰ পৰা পানী নামি আহিছে পানী নামি অহাৰ ফলত ইয়াত ৰাস্তা ছিঙি গৈছে ৰাস্তা ছিঙি যোৱাৰ ফলত আমাৰ গাঁৱত পানী কেনেকৈ সোমাই আছে দেখা পাই আছে আৰু ৰাস্তা ছিঙি যোৱাৰ ফলত ঘৰ বাৰী পৰা ভাঙি লৈ গৈছে ইয়াতে গাঁৱৰ পৰা পানী আৰু আগতো এনেকৈ ঘৰ দুটা ভাঙি লৈ গৈ এজন আমি গম পাইছোঁ কিন্তু চাৰিটা নাম বুলি চাৰিটা বেতন বুলি নাম গম পাইছোঁ আৰু এজন নাম আমি গম নাপাওঁ কিন্তু দুটা ঘৰ ভাঙি ছিঙি লৈ গৈছে মানে ইয়াতে এটা ছিঙি লৈ গৈছে আৰু বহুত বেয়া হৈ আছে ইয়াতে
ঘৰ বাৰী ভাঙি গৈছে নদীর থেকে ধার আইছিল পুরা হাতে একবারে সব ভাঙি চলে গেছে বহুত কষ্ট করে ঘরটা দিছি ঘুমায়ে নাই ঘরটা
Meanwhile, if we talk about Ampati, the district headquarters of Meghalaya's southwest Garo Hills has also been hit hard by flash floods. Heavy rain since early morning has left a trail of destruction in its wake, with several areas, including the Bethasing market, being submerged in flood water. Moreover, early morning visuals from the Ampati Civil Hospital maternity ward show the extent of damage left behind by the rain and floods. As per latest inputs, JCBs have been deployed to clear accumulated mud and debris from the area, and district administration as well as disaster management officials are on ground to assess the prevailing situation. All right, so this is a big development coming in regarding the floods Well, the floods and landslides are once again wreaking havoc with reports of damage to public and private property coming to the fore from several parts of Northeast. The worst affected have been Sikkim and Garo Hills region of Meghalaya. Now, if we talk about Meghalaya first, so southwest Garo Hills and west Garo Hills have been hit hard by the floods and landslides triggered by incessant rainfall since last night. All right, my colleague Biplab joins us on the phone line to give us the latest on the situation right now. Well, Biplab, how is the situation like in southwest Garo Hills and west Garo Hills? Is it still raining? What has been the extent of damage?
It's currently rain is stopped and waters are receding. That's a positive point for now. And these areas actually are not really, not really developed to, withstand the flash flood. And most of these houses that have been destroyed, a lot of property and the houses have been destroyed due to the strong current that this flash flood is actually brought for. Currently, the assessment is an assessment of both districts have been done. Okay, and we are expecting, the damage information to be coming to us very soon.
Okay.
In terms of deaths, there have been 4 deaths, of which 3 of them are minors. One is a 12-year boy, and 2 of them are 3-year-old girl, is what we know. 3 of the 3 deaths have occurred in one family, with the father also being injured, and he's recuperating in hospital.
All right. Now, Biplab, is there any increase in the casualties?
No, we don't. We're not expecting any increase in the casualties for now because the situation is normalized for now.
All right.
But if it rains again, though, this could actually get even worse.
Okay. Now, Biplab, what about road communication, especially in remote areas? How many villages have been cut off? Any updates?
Actually, villages being cut off, meaning there are the advisory that is being given by districts of West Garo Hills and Southwest Garo Hills is it's advised residents to not go near any water bodies for now. Okay, and the other thing is in West Garo Hills, 2 bridges have been have actually been washed away. One actually bordering South Garo Hills. That the video that you saw is of the bridge that actually connects South and West Garo Hills. And in the Seltala area, of course, we've had a similar thing where 2 more bridges are, either on the verge or have already collapsed. And most of these bridges that have been affected are, the rickety old timber bridges that we have. These have not been upgraded to, the RCC types. So that's one of the reasons to why this thing is actually happening.
All right. Now, Biplab, a red alert has been issued by the IMD, predicts more rainfall in Meghalaya as well. So this is going to be a challenging job for the authorities out there, isn't it?
Definitely. And definitely. And we expect, in the coming days, bigger numbers to be affected by the current situation. Okay, floods, and most of these, what I know till now is 12 villages in Beta Singh block have been affected, but people are still not willing to get out of their houses because they have they have their own stuff in their houses, so they don't want to get out. So that's what we know for now.
All right. Now the people have been shifted to the safer places, isn't it?
No, they have. The administration has identified the places where these people can be shifted, but they are unwilling to leave their houses because of the goods that they have in their own house. They feel that it may get stolen. But the administration is trying actually to put these people into relief centers, though not too many people have come forward to actually be there.
All right, all right. Now, those villages which have cut off from the other villages now, how are the administration planning to supply food items from there? Because this is a very crucial time for them as well.
Yes, that is true. As of now, the administration has other lines through which it can actually connect to these people. We expect boats to be deployed as well in rivers and places where the bridges have been taken out. So that we expect the NDRF and the state disaster relief people to actually come forward and take up the entire issue from here.
All right. Thank you, Biplab, for giving us those details at this point in time. And meanwhile, a major landslide has been reported from National Highway 10 near Bardang in Sikkim. The heavy landslide has not only brought traffic to a standstill, but has also cut off the entire area from the rest of Sikkim. The landslides have reportedly cut off road communication from Machong, Parakha, Barapathyang, Lindley, Roleb, and more areas under Pakyong district. So this is an update coming in from Sikkim, where a major landslide has been reported from National Highway 10 near Bardang in Sikkim. The heavy landslide has not only brought traffic to a standstill, but has also cut off the entire area from the rest of Sikkim. The landslides have reportedly cut off road communication, Machong, Parakha, Barapathing, Lindley, Roleb, and more areas under Pakyong district. So we are talking about the road communications, which in the several areas of Pakyong district, which has been cut off. A major landslide has been reported from National Highway 10 near the Bardang in Sikkim. The heavy landslide has not only brought traffic to a standstill, but has also cut off the entire area from the rest of Sikkim. Meanwhile, flash floods and landslides have also added to the woes of people in parts of Sikkim. 2 persons were swept away at Tung Naga Rail Khola, North Sikkim, this afternoon. Police sources informed that a tourist, Uday Kumar Singh, who was taking a selfie, slipped down the river while the driver who rushed to rescue him was also swept away. The driver has been identified as a Karna Bahadur Tamang, and the body of the tourist was recovered a short while ago. So another update coming in from Sikkim, viewers. Flash floods and landslides have also added to the woes of people in parts of Sikkim. 2 persons were swept away at Tung Naga Rail Khola, North Sikkim, this afternoon. Well, police sources informed that a tourist, Uday Kumar Singh, who was taking a selfie, slipped down the river while the driver who rushed to rescue him was also swept away. The driver has been identified as a Karna Bahadur Tamam. The body of the tourist was received a short while ago. All right, my colleague Prakash joins us over the phone line to give us the latest on the reports coming in from Sikkim. As Prakash, a major landslide, first off, has been reported from National Highway 10 near Bardang in Sikkim. So what is the condition at this point in time, as we are getting reports that traffic has come to a standstill there?
Yes, in morning time, let's take a quad at Bordang and NS10 now. The road is clear. Now, Sikkim Police, BRO, and other local administrators have cleared all road few hours ago. Now, traffic is clear now.
All right, so the traffic is cleared now. Now, the landslides have reportedly cut off road communication from Machong, Parakha. We are talking about the districts, Pakyong district areas. So what about that? How are the district administration working on this?
Yes, another landslide incident happened in Pasim district. Under Pasim district, basically the village of Machong, Parakha, Borapathing, Linke, Role, Rongli area. Still, there is road cost. These areas are village areas, so administration is not so active now. Disaster management said that tomorrow they will clear all the roads.
And how long will it take to restore the road connectivity there?
Yes, no alternative road in these villages, but heavy rainfall still here for last 3-4 days, and now MIG, Meteorological Department, also said that is continuously till next 4 to 5 days. So administrative said that after the rainfall, they will clear all these roads.
Now, Prakash, now talking about the incident that was reported from North Sikkim, where two persons were swept away at Tung Naga Rail Khola this afternoon, and police sources informed that a tourist who was taking a selfie slipped down, and while the driver who was going to rescue him also slipped down and was swept away. So, what is the update on that side?
Yes, two person were swept away by the river at Tung Naga Rail Khola near Chungkhang area this afternoon around 3:30 p.m. while traveling towards Lasung from the Gangtok. At that time, Uday Kumar Singh, one tourist, was taking a selfie and he slipped down and the river while the driver rushed to rescue the tourist. He was also swept away the high current of the river, but tourist dead body already recovered and driver dead body will starting now the administration and local police.
All right. Now, the body has been recovered. Body of tourist has been recovered. Has it been handed over to the family members?
Yes, two another family members are also there. So, local administration already hand over this dead body to his relatives.
And is the rescue operation also underway to recover the body of the driver?
Yes, the rescue operation going on, and now driver is identified as a Karnabata Samang. He is from the Gangtok area, and the rescue operation still going on. Local police, ICPP, SSPP, and disaster management personnel officers have already start rescue operation there.
All right. Thank you, Prakash, for giving us details at this point in time. And well, heavy rains have inundated several prime locations in Guwahati city, including Hatigao, Wireless, Chanmari, and more. The flood situation has brought a road communication to a complete standstill. Meanwhile, the IMD has issued red alert for Assam, Meghalaya, and Arunachal Pradesh for the next 2 days. And shifting focus to some other top story of the day. Well, two new ministers were inducted into the Assam cabinet today. The new ministers, Jayanta Malla Borwa and Nandita Garlosa, were sworn in a ceremony at Srimanta Shankar Dev Kalakhetra a short while ago. Well, Governor Jagdish Mukhi administered the oath of office to the new ministers in presence of Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma. And this was the first cabinet expansion of the Himanta Biswa Sharma-led government, which completed 1 year in office last month. Both MLAs being inducted into the cabinet are from the BJP. While Jayanta Malla is the MLA from Nolbari, Nandita Garlosa is Haflong legislator.
I, Nandita Garlosa, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as a minister for the state of Assam, and that I will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution and the law without fear or favor, affection or ill will.
মই জয়ন্ত মল্ল বৰুৱাই ঈশ্বৰৰ নামত শপত খাই কওঁ যে বিধিৰ দ্বাৰা স্থাপিত ভাৰতৰ সংবিধানৰ প্ৰতি মই প্ৰকৃত বিশ্বাস আৰু আনুগত্য পোষণ কৰিম। মই ভাৰতৰ সাৰ্বভৌমত্ব আৰু অখণ্ডতা ৰক্ষা কৰিম। মই অসম ৰাজ্যৰ এজন মন্ত্ৰী হিচাপে বিশ্বস্ততাৰে আৰু শুদ্ধ অন্তঃকৰণেৰে মোৰ কৰ্তব্য সম্পাদন কৰিম। আৰু মই ভয় বা পক্ষপাত, অনুৰাগ বা বিদ্বেষ নোহোৱাকৈ সংবিধান আৰু বিধি অনুসাৰে সকলো প্ৰকাৰৰ লোকৰ প্ৰতি ন্যায় আচৰণ কৰিম।
Meanwhile, portfolios have also been allocated to newly inducted ministers. Now, Haflong MLA Nandita Garlosa has been assigned the Power Department, Corporation Department, Mines and Minerals Department, and Indigenous and Tribal Faith and Culture Department. Meanwhile, Jayanta Malla Borwa takes charge of PHE, Skill, Employment and Entrepreneurship Department, and Tourism. And ahead of the swearing in ceremony, Northeast Live correspondent Swadeep Hasamsa caught up with Haflong MLA Nandita Garlosa for an exclusive conversation.
2018 से अभी 2022 आ गया है, लेकिन उससे पहले उसका जो दूसरा जर्नी था उसका बारे में हम थोड़ा बात करेंगे, और साथ में ये इन 4 सालों में जो पॉलिटिक्स में उसका आना कैसा हुआ उसके बारे में हम थोड़ा जानते हैं पहले, और ये पॉलिटिक्स में आने का उसका कैसा विचार हुआ मैडम आपका?
2018 हमने ज्वाइन किया है पॉलिटिक्स। उसका पहले मेरा वेक्टर बोर्न डिजीजेस अंडर द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एनवीबीडीसीपी आई वाज अ कंसल्टेंट था डिस्ट्रिक्ट का। तब में हम लोगों का एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी था, 15 डेज हम लोगों को गांव-गांव में जाके देखना पड़ता था। तो जो ड्यूटी था 15 डेज का, हम कभी भी मिस नहीं करता था गांव जाने के लिए, और बहुत सा गांव उसमें ओवरऑल डिस्ट्रिक्ट को कवर कर सका बोल के आई विल टेक द आई विल फील प्राउड दैट आई हैव कवर्ड मोस्ट पार्ट्स ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट, इंटीरियर पार्ट्स ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट उस टाइम में कवर किया। और उस टाइम में कवर करने टाइम में ही देखा है कि लाइक देयर हैज़ टू बी अ चेंज, एंड अगर चेंज करना पड़ता है तो समवेयर और द अदर वी हैव टू चूज अ प्लेटफॉर्म वेयर अ चेंज कैन बी ब्रॉट। तो उसी हिसाब से हमने सोचा है कि लाइक इफ़ गिवन एन अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड इफ़ कभी मिला है तो ज़रूर पॉलिटिक्स में आएंगे, और यही सफ़र रहा।
और इसमें अगर हम बात करें तो अभी डॉक्टर हेमंत बिश्वा शर्मा का लीडरशिप में काफ़ी ज़्यादा बहुत सारा आसाम में जैसे कि ड्रग्स को लेके बहुत सारा इश्यूज़ को लेके भी काफ़ी सारा काम कर रहा है। इसमें आपको भी मौका एक हिस्सेदार बनने मिलने का, अब क्या बोलेगा इसको?
ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन असम जब हम लोग ने देखा है इन द पास्ट 1 ईयर, बहुत सारा चेंजेस देखा है, न्यू पॉलिसीज आया है लाइक मिशन वसुंधरा, ड्रग्स का अगेंस्ट में जैसे मैंने दिया है एंटी ड्रग्स कैंपेन, ओवरऑल स्टेट ऑफ असम में जो लिया है ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर, दिस आर सम ऑफ द चैलेंजिंग थिंग्स एंड द ट्रांसपेरेंसी विच हैव रियली शोन कि आगे जाके एकदम लाइक वी आर फॉर द पीपल एंड वी आर फॉर द पब्लिक। सो पब्लिक को बहुत ही ये अच्छा लगा कि लाइक द एंटी ड्रग्स इश्यूज एंड मिशन वसुंधरा, जहाँ पे आदमी आके ऑफिस में हमेशा लाइक दे कैन नॉट स्पेंड ऑल द टाइम, सो अभी घर से होके ये सब काम जब होता था, दिस इज अ वेल स्ट्रक्चर्ड असम, वेल डिफाइंड असम, वेल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन असम, वेयर वी आर ऑल्सो अ पार्ट ऑफ इट।
मैडम आपने कब जब पॉलिटिक्स में ज्वाइन किया था कभी सोचा था, या फिर एमएलए बनने के बाद में कभी सोचा था कि आपके ऐसे मंत्री हिसाब से मिल सकता है, ऐसा कभी एक्सपेक्टेशन था?
एक्सपेक्टेशंस मेरा बहुत कम है, हम इतना एक्सपेक्टेशंस नहीं करता, हम एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं किया था कि हम एमएलए होगा जब आई वाज ओनली एन ईएम। मैंने जस्ट सोचा था कि हम एमएससी हो गए, आई विल बी वन ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव मेंबर्स ऑफ डिमासा ऑटोनमस एनसीएल ऑटोनमस काउंसिल, एंड आई विल ट्राई टू एग्जीक्यूट जो भी डिपार्टमेंट हमको दिया जाएगा, आई विल ट्राई टू डू माय बेस्ट। लेकिन उन दौरान ही इन द मिडिल ऑफ द टेन्योर ओनली आई गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू बिकम एन एमएलए व्हिच आई वाज नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग एट ऑल, बट for the people I had to be, and then now I am here. I would like to thank the whole council team and my whole people of Dimahasa that they have given me the opportunity to become an MLA of their district, and then to serve now in the state of Assam.
हम देखा जाए तो डिमा हासो एक मिनी नॉर्थ ईस्ट भी कहा जाता है, जहाँ और बहुत खूबसूरत है हाफलोंग यानी डिमा हासो डिस्ट्रिक्ट, और वहाँ में बहुत जनजाति लोग रहते हैं, उसके साथ एक साथ सबको मिलके रखना रहने का वजह क्या है, और खास बात अभी डिजास्टर होने का बाद में अभी इसको कैसे आप लोग यूनाइट करेंगे, और फिर से अभी इतना ब्यूटिफिकेशन है डिमा हासो डिस्ट्रिक्ट, टूरिस्ट के एंगल में अगर देखा जाए तो काफ़ी सारे टूरिस्ट भी धीरे धीरे बढ़ने लगे था, अभी उसको हम कैसे रिस्टोर करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे?
हमारा हाफलोंग या डिमासा डिस्ट्रिक्ट इज नोन एज द मिनी नॉर्थ ईस्ट, बहुत सारा ट्राइबल्स लोग रहता है। अभी इट्स ऑल ओवर इशू इन नॉट ओनली इन हाफलोंग बट एवरीवेयर, लाइक जब भी ट्राइबल्स होता है कि सबको भी आइडेंटिटी चाहिए होता है, सो आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस इज द मेजर पार्ट वेयर एवरीबडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट। वी शुड एज अ पब्लिक लीडर वी शुड नॉट मेक देम फील दैट देयर इज एन आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस, or we should always be liberal to all the people, to all the different tribes which are always and have always been residing with the Dimasas in the district.
टूरिज्म एंगल में अगर बात करें तो डिमा हासाओ एक पर्यटन का हब बना हुआ है जैसे अभी डिमा हासाओ स्पेशली डिमा हासाओ डिस्ट्रिक्ट अभी डिजास्टर होने के बाद काफी नुकसान हुआ है लास्टली अब कैसे करके रिस्टोर करने का कुछ प्लानिंग सोचा है क्या
I will not be able to pinpoint now directly, लेकिन ज़रूर we will be able to come through tourism, not only like tourists खाली visit करना ऐसा नहीं, there are so many parts of tourism, adventure tourism is there, agri-tourism is there, cultural tourism is there, eco-tourism is there. तो अभी देखता है कि इस disaster में which tourism we can start with and then finally as a whole कैसे कर सकेगा.
ये था नंदिता गारलोसा जो हाफलोंग का एमएलए
And with that, we take a short break. Stay tuned for more news.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
সুগন্ধ ৰং আৰু সোৱাদ খাতি
এভৰিডে জিভাত দিয়ে আসল জুতি
एवरीडे स्पाइसेस 100% टेस्ट एवरीडे स्पाइसेस बेस्ट
ये लो बेटा तुम्हारा नया टीवी
थैंक यू
और अम्मा राम राम अरे अम्मा ये लोग क्यों बोलते हैं मोदी जी मेरा परिवार
देख मोदी जी ने तेरे दादाजी का ऑपरेशन करवाया घर में पानी बिजली गैस टॉयलेट सब लगवाया नहीं समझा इधर आ देख बेटा जो परिवार का होता है उसका घर में नहीं दिल में रहना जरूरी होता है
दुख दर्द को बहुत निकट से अनुभव किया एक परिवार के सदस्य के रूप में काम कर रहा
सही है अम्मा मोदी जी मेरा परिवार
Evening Prime, the prime time news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice.
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোঁ আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ চিমেণ্ট চুৰিয়া চিমেণ্ট অটুট ঘৰ অটুট অসম
অভূতপূর্ব ভ্যারাইটি অপূর্ব মূল্য ডাউনলোড উইশো
Evening
Welcome back. And before moving to some other stories, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Floods and landslides wreak havoc in parts of region. At least 4 dead in Meghalaya's Garo Hills region. Tourist drivers swept away in Sikkim. IMD issues a red alert for Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh. Two new ministers inducted in Assam cabinet. New minister Jayantamalla Borwa gets PHE and tourism portfolios. Power Corporation, Indigenous and Tribal Faith and Culture for Nandita Garlosa. Presidential polls to be held on July 18th. Last date of nomination on June 28th. Counting on July 21st, announces ECI. India's daily COVID cases crossed 7,000 mark for the first time since March. Around 40% single-day jump in number of infections. And Arunachal Governor Brigadier B.D. Mishra meets the village heads of insurgency-affected Longding district. Governor Mishra expresses concern over law and order situation in area. And on to a big story from Arunachal Pradesh now. Well, a Governor Brigadier B.D. Mishra today expressed concern over the law and order scenario in the states at Tirap, Changlang, and Longding districts. While interacting with the Gao Buras from the state's Longding district, Governor Brigadier Mishra emphasized that peace is a prerequisite of development and it is the duty of every individual to contribute in promoting a sense of security amongst the people. Well, he also called upon the people to cooperate with security forces in maintaining peace and amenity. Well, the governor, while expressing his concern about law and order cases in Tirap, Longding, and Changlang districts, stressed that a concerted public effort is required to overcome the challenges. He advised for strengthening the intelligence inputs and more welfare measures for the militancy affected areas and populations. The governor also urged the Galburas to prevent their youth from joining the underground organizations and urged them to win over their youth from the underground organizations back to the mainstream. Arunachal Home Minister Bamang Felix was also present on the occasion. It's a big story from Arunachal Pradesh. Governor Brigadier B.D. Mishra today expressed concern over the law and order scenario in states Tirap, Changlang, and Longding districts. Interacting with Gao Buras from the state's Longding district, Governor Brigadier Mishra emphasized that peace is the prerequisite of development and it is the duty of every individual to contribute in promoting a sense of security amongst the people. Well, he also called upon the people to cooperate with security forces in maintaining peace and amity. Well, the governor, while expressing his concern about law and order cases in Tirap, Longding, and Changlang districts, stressed that a concerted public effort is required to overcome the challenges. He advised for strengthening the intelligence inputs and more welfare measures for the militancy affected areas and populations. The governor also urged the Galburas to prevent their youth from joining the underground organizations and urged them to win over their youth from underground organizations back to the mainstream. Arunachal Home Minister Bamang Felix was also present on the occasion. The presidential election will be held on July 18th and the counting of votes will be conducted on July 21st, the Election Commission announced today. The last date of a nomination has been set for June 29th. The poll panel said that at a press conference held a short while back, the term of the President Ramnath Kovind ends on July 24th and an election for the next president is to be held before that day. The new president has to be sworn in by July 25th. Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar said that a total of 4,809 electors would be voting in the presidential elections and that no political party can issue a whip to its members.
In pursuance of the subsection 1 of section 4 of the Presidential and Vice Presidential Elections Act 1952, the Election Commission of India has fixed the schedule for the election to fill the office of the President of India as given in Appendix 3 and which I am reading out to you now. So the notification would be on 15th June, that is Wednesday. Last date for making the nomination would be 29th June, that is Wednesday. Date for scrutiny of nominations would be 30th June, that is Thursday. Last date for withdrawal of candidature would be Saturday, that is 2nd of July 2022. And date on which a poll shall, if necessary, be taken is 18th of July 2022. That happens to be Monday. Thereafter, we collect all the ballot boxes and bring it back to Delhi. And date on which counting, if required, shall be taken and result declared, that would be 21/7/2022. Well in advance, then the 24th of July, the last date of the Honorable President being in the office.
Well, the president is elected by the votes cast by Electoral College, consisting of 776 members of parliament, comprising of members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha combined, and 4,033 members of the legislative assemblies, with a total of 4,809 votes being cast. The value of votes of the members of assemblies combined is 5,43,231, and the MPs is 5,43,200, equaling a value of 1,86,431. The nominated members of either Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha or legislative assemblies of states are not eligible to be included in Electoral College, and therefore they are not entitled to participate in the election. Similarly, members of the legislative councils are also not electors for the presidential election. In 2017, the presidential polls were held on July 17th, and the counting took place on July 20th. So far, no political party has named its choice for the top constitutional post. Shifting focus to Manipur now, in what comes as a major breakthrough, the Kangpokpi district police arrested 3 suspects in the killing of Nafai village chief Zilhem Khongsai. The 3 have been identified as Jamlal Khongsai, Thongko Khao Khongsai, and Paumang Khongsai. It may be mentioned that Zilhem Khongsai was killed on June 6 by unknown miscreants, according to village chiefs. Family members, Zilhem Khongsai was called by armed miscreants and gunned down near his house is in Nafai village under Saikul block under Kangpokpi district. ADG Law and Order C. Khongsai confirmed the arrest of 3 suspects behind the killing of Nafai village chief Zilhem Khongsai.
An incident that took place at Nafai village in which the chief of Nafai, one Zilhem Khongsai, was called out from his house almost around midnight and was shot dead by unknown assailants. And this came as a shock for the area as well as for the state also, because a chief of a village being shot dead was something that was, very shocking for everyone. So quickly the police acted. Cycle police went to the spot, inspected the spot, and at the same time, the chief of Napai, who was not yet dead, he was critically injured, was brought to the CHC in Saikul, but unfortunately he succumbed to his death. On the basis of the source informations, 3 persons from the village, 3 persons from the same village, from Napai village, were rounded up for verifications. They are Thangkohau Khongsai, Zamlal Khongsai, and Paumang Khongsai. These persons were picked up. In fact, one of them, Zamlal Khongsai, happens to be a Su Kadar of KLO, KLA also. And during the course of the investigation, it came to light that these were the persons responsible, and the chief was shot by a single barrel. And the main reason, the main motive happens to be that it was a family feud.
And on to the COVID update now. Well, the number of daily coronavirus infections in India breached the 7,000 mark for the first time since March 1st, as India logged 7,240 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. The number of COVID cases reported today was 38% higher than yesterday's tally of 5,233. The number of active COVID cases went up by 3,641 in the last 24 hours, as per the Health Ministry data. Active cases now stand at 32,498 and account for 0.07% of the total cases. According to the Health Ministry data, 8 deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours. Maharashtra recorded 2,701 fresh COVID cases in the last 24 hours, the highest in nearly 4 months. Mumbai alone accounted for 1,765 cases. Meanwhile, Delhi recorded 564 new COVID cases, the highest since May 15th. Well, on to Sikkim now. Well, the enthronement ceremony of Tulku Rinpoche, recognized as the reincarnation of the legendary yogi Pheru Rinpoche, was observed today at Gangtok in East Sikkim. The enthronement ceremony was attended by Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang and other eminent dignitaries. The ceremony of Wen Tulku Kumzang Dordul Thai Rinpoche falls on the 17th Rabzum of the Iron Male Tiger year, which corresponds today in the modern era. The ceremony was held at Ronge Monastery in Gangtok in East Sikkim and was organized by Kumzang Nugudrep Lingongpa Committee. Meanwhile, the traditional enthronement ritual ceremony was led by His Eminence Ronge Rinpoche.
हिज इमिनेंस और ये रोनियर रिम्बुची के सामने में आप इतना अमृत के रूप से एक इंकारनेशन हुआ है। वो कैसा हुआ कि एक पहले लाजुंग में इस जगह में एक बेरुक रिम्बुची वो उधर आया था। उधर आकर के जो इतना साल के बाद फिर वो इधर रोनियर रिम्बुची ने रीइंकारनेशन किया है और आज उसका इंथ्रोमेंट इतना अच्छा दिन में और उसका माँ बाप का नाम ऐसा कि श्री ओंगल और ये उसका नाम माँ का नाम है कि छुआंग लादेन, ये दोनों के पुत्र में जन्म लिया है और जन्म लिया है कि उसका नाम अभी हिज होलीनेस अभी हाल ही में अभी स्वर्गवास हुआ था। उसका हिज होलीनेस कैप्टन दरुर रिम्बुची उसके साथ से भी और उसका ब्लेसिंग है और ब्लेसिंग होकर के अभी जो इधर में रोनियर रिम्बुची के सामने में अब इसका ध्यान देना है, मेडिटेशन करना है, कुछ करना है, सब यहीं पे करेगा। और वो स्वयं रोनियर रिम्बुची ने स्वयं उसका मेडिटेशन के तब से वो बेरुक रिम्बुची का इंकारनेशन को उसने दिव्य चक्षु से जानकारी मिला था। वो अभी मिल करके आज हम लोगों ने इस आज ये एंथ्रोनमेंट के दिन में पब्लिक लोगों को सबको इंफॉर्मेशन यानी उन लोगों को जानकारी करने के लिए आज बड़ा दिन है। इसमें आगे बढ़ने में हम लोग सब लोगों पब्लिक से लामा से और सब लोगों से उनका साथ चाहिए और साथ होकर के उनका ध्यान को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए आज बहुत बड़ा दिन के लिए उसका सिंहासन और उसका आज वो आसन ग्रहण कर रहा है।
Shifting focus now, Union Minister Sarbanand Sonowal, who is on a visit to Arunachal Pradesh, visited Zero in Lower Subansiri district today, wherein he attended the special yoga session at the famous Sikhe Lake with students and natives. He later visited the famous Shivalinga of Zero and met BJP workers. It may be mentioned here that Union Minister is in Zero for a 2-day tour, arrived in the district yesterday and has visited and inspected various facilities. During his visit, the Union Minister visited a fair price shop at Hong Kong Village, where he had interacted with the beneficiaries and the ration card holders. The minister also assured assistance in upgrading the Ayush Health and Wellness Center at Manipalyang and further inspected the Gyati Taka General Hospital and took stock of the Jan Aushadhi store being run at the hospital.
मुझे लगता है कि हमारे देशवासी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में इसी हिसाब से दिनों दिन सारे विषय पर शामिल हो जाए, इसे हमारे सबके पास हमारी विशेष रूप से प्रार्थना है। और आज मैंने यहाँ आके योग उत्सव में भाग लिया, बहुत अच्छा लगा। मुझे लगता है कि अगले दिनों में निश्चित रूप से देश के अलग अलग प्रांतों का साथ अरुणाचल प्रदेश भी प्रगति की दिशा पर बहुत जोर से चलने लगेगा, ये निश्चित है। अभी तो सड़क बन रहा है क्योंकि पिछले 7 साल कांग्रेस ने कुछ नहीं किया था, और जो काम हुआ है ये 8 साल में ही हुआ है। और अभी ट्रांस अरुणाचल हाईवे बन रहा है। अरुणाचल प्रदेश में 25 जिले हैं। 25 जिले हेडक्वार्टर को जोड़ने के लिए बहुत बड़ा माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कदम उठाया है, और मुझे लगता है कि ये जब कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, निश्चित रूप से अगले दिनों में अरुणाचल का जनता अपने शक्ति दिखाने में सफलता प्राप्त करेंगे। निश्चित रूप से इसके खिलाफ हमको मजबूत कदम उठाना चाहिए। ड्रग्स के खिलाफ जनता को विशेष रूप से अपने जो भी ड्यूटी है इसके खिलाफ जनता को उसको निष्ठापूर्वक पालन करना चाहिए, और इसके खिलाफ आंदोलन होना चाहिए, घर घर आंदोलन होना चाहिए। क्योंकि अगर मानव समाज सुशासन का मालिक बनना चाहते हैं तो ड्रग्स के खिलाफ कदम उठाना ही होगा।
With that, we take a short break. Stay tuned for more news.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ সিমেন্ট सूर्या सीमेंट। सूर्या सीमेंट अटूट घर अटूट অসম।
चलो आ गए। कितना हुआ? अरे भैया, ये सभी लोग क्यों कहते हैं मोदी जी मेरा परिवार?
सर, मुद्रा लोन से मैंने अभी ये गाड़ी ली है। अब मेरी माँ को दूसरों के घर काम करने जाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। और सर, अब मैं खुद भी पढ़ता हूँ और अपने भाई को भी पढ़ाता हूँ। और सर, मेरा बिजनेस अब स्टेबल है। सर, जो अपने होते हैं ना, वो एक छत के नीचे नहीं होते, पर फिर भी वो हमेशा हमारे साथ होते हैं।
देश के करोड़ों करोड़ों नागरिकों के लिए एक परिवार के सदस्य के रूप में काम कर रहा है।
ये भारत का नया दौर है, ये भारत का नया दौर है।
Welcome back, and on to Arunachal Pradesh now. In a joint initiative by the villagers and Gao Buras of East Kameng and Pakke Kesang districts of the state, illegally grown wild canopy have been destroyed today. The wild canopy destroyed sprawled over 12 acres of land between East Kameng and Pakke Kesang districts of Arunachal Pradesh. It may be mentioned here that Gao Buras of these districts are engaged to create awareness and get rid of canopy plants in the next season. On to some national news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated the Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. Organized by the Department of Biotechnology in collaboration with the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, or BIREC, the two-day expo is themed on biotech startup innovations towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. The Biotech Startup Expo 2022 has been organized to mark the completion of 10 years of the foundation of BIREC. Among others who attended the inauguration ceremony were Union Ministers Jitendra Singh, Piyush Goyal and Dharmendra Pradhan. The expo will act as a platform to connect entrepreneurs, investors, industry leaders, scientists, researchers, bio-incubators, manufacturers, regulator, government officials, etc. Meanwhile, about 300 stalls are set up at the expo that showcases the applications of biotechnology in various fields such as healthcare, genomics, biopharma, agriculture, industrial biotechnology, waste to value, and clean energy, among others. The expo assumes a significance as it will act as a platform to connect entrepreneurs, investors, industry leaders, scientists, researchers, government officials, among others.
भारत के बायोटेक सेक्टर की एक्सपोनेंशियल जो ग्रोथ का प्रतिबिंब है, बीते 8 साल में भारत की बायो इकोनॉमी 8 गुना बढ़ गई है। 10 अरब डॉलर से 80 अरब डॉलर तक हम पहुंच चुके हैं। सरकार ने अभी हाल में जो लाभार्थियों के सैचुरेशन, गरीब के 100% सशक्तिकरण का अभियान शुरू किया है, वो भी बायोटेक सेक्टर को नई ताकत दे सकता है। यानी बायोटेक सेक्टर की ग्रोथ के लिए अवसर ही अवसर है। भारत की जेनरिक दवाओं, भारत की वैक्सीनेशन, जो ट्रस्ट दुनिया में बनाया है, जितने बड़े लेवल पर हम काम कर सकते हैं, वो बायोटेक सेक्टर के लिए एक और बड़ा एडवांटेज है। मुझे विश्वास है आने वाले 2 दिनों में आप बायोटेक सेक्टर से जुड़ी हर संभावना पर विस्तार से चर्चा करेंगे। अभी बायोटेक ने अपने 10 साल पूरे किए हैं। मेरा ये भी आग्रह है कि जब बायोटेक अपने 25 साल पूरे करेगा, तो बायोटेक सेक्टर किस ऊंचाई पर होगा, उसके लिए अपने लक्ष्यों और एक्शनेबल पॉइंट्स पर अभी से काम करना चाहिए।
And on to international news now. In yet another incident of atrocity against minorities in Pakistan, a Hindu temple was attacked by some extremists in Karachi, Sindh province of the country. The incident took place at Korangi No. 5 area of the country's port city. The Sri Mari Mata Mandir, which also houses the residence of Hindu priests, was attacked late on Wednesday, triggering fear among the Hindu community. A violent mob attacked the house of priest and vandalized the idols. The idols were brought by the priest a few days ago to be installed in temple under construction. The area has been cordoned off and protection has been provided to the community. However, no arrests have been made by Pakistan police so far. Meanwhile, temples in Pakistan are often the target of mob violence. Just last October, a historical temple located in Sindh's Kotri was desecrated by unidentified people. Activists say that human rights in Pakistan records have touched a new low, with several media reports and global bodies reflecting the dire situation for women, minorities, children, and media persons in the country. In Sindh, forced conversions and attacks on minority communities have become even more rampant. Shifting focus now, the much talked about sologamy of Gujarat women is now over. Well, Kashima Bindu married herself with all wedding traditions a few days ahead of the scheduled date. Well, India saw its first sologamy as Gujarat woman Kashima Bindu married herself with all the wedding rituals of Mehendi and Haldi. But she got married a few days ahead of the scheduled date to avoid any controversy after a BJP leader opposed her wedding and said she wouldn't be allowed to marry in a temple. Well, after the wedding, she thanked everyone in a video message and said she was grateful for the support and encouragement. Kashma Bindu, a resident of Vadodara, was to marry herself on June 11th in India's first case of sologamy. Well, Kashma did her graduation in sociology and is currently working as a senior recruitment officer in a private company. Well, both her parents are engineers. Back to region now. Well, accredited social health activists or ASHA workers in Dibrugarh today. Well, the ASHA workers staged the demonstration demanding the immediate release of their monthly pay, which they have not received since last 3 months. The protest was staged in front of the office of Joint Director of Health Services in Dibrugarh. Meanwhile, the ASHA workers also alleged that they are yet to receive COVID allowances, which the state government had announced in 2020.
আমাৰ প্ৰথম কথা হল আমাৰ আশা কৰ্মী নিৰ্দিষ্ট কামৰ সময় নোহোৱা হৈছে আমাৰ কামৰ ওপৰত কাম জাপি দি আছে আজি আশা কৰ্মীক 2006 চনতে 3টা কামত লৈ বৰ্তমান আমাক 78টা কাম দিছে কিন্তু হেতু মানি লৈছো আমি কাম নিষ্ঠাৰে কৰি আছো ইমান অতিকৈ ভয়ানক কৰোনা মহামাৰী কামত আমাক খটুৱাই আমি সকলো কাম কৰোনাৰ মহামাৰী কাম আমি ভালদৰে কাম কৰি গলো আৰু বৰ্তমানেও কাম কৰি আছো কিন্তু আশা কৰ্মীক অকল সন্মান আৰু এৱাৰ্ড দিলেতো আমাৰ পেট নভৰে অনুৰোধ কৰিছো চৰকাৰক আমাক যিখিনি চৰকাৰে ঘোষণা কৰিলে আমাক 20 চন 21 চন 22 চন আমাক যিমানখিনি ঘোষণা কৰিলে অন্তত আমাক ঘোষণা কৰা মাননীয় আমাৰ হাতত পৰিবলৈ দিয়ক নহলে আমি কৰোনা কাম এই মুহূৰ্তৰ পৰা আজি দিনটোৰ পৰা আমি সিদ্ধান্ত লৈছো আমাক যেতিয়ালৈকে ঘোষণা কৰা মাননি নিদিয়ে আমি কোনো আশা কৰ্মীয়ে কৰোনা কাম নকৰো বুলি আমি সিদ্ধান্ত লৈছো
বৰ্তমান সময়ত আমাৰ যি ইনচেন্টিভ আমি মাহে পাওঁ সেই মাহৰ টকা আমাৰ আজি মাৰ্চৰ পৰা মাৰ্চ মাহ গ'ল এপ্ৰিল মাহ গ'ল বৰ্তমানলৈ আমি 1 টকাও আমি ইনচেন্টিভ আমাৰ মাহে আমাৰ অসম চৰকাৰ আৰু ৰাজ্যিক চৰকাৰ মিলাই কিনে 3000 হয় তাৰ উপৰি আমি যিমানখিনি যোনে ক্লেইম কৰোঁ সেইখিনিৰ ওপৰত পাওঁ সেই গোটেই পইচাখিনি আমাৰ মাহৰ মূৰত দিয়া হয় কিন্তু এই মাৰ্চ মাহ এপ্ৰিল মাহ 2টা মাহ গ'ল এতিয়া জুন মাহ আহি গ'ল এতিয়া আমাৰ আকৌ এটা পইচা পাবলৈ হ'ল কিন্তু মাৰ্চ এপ্ৰিলৰ পইচা বৰ্তমানলৈ আমি পোৱাই নাই
সোম আৰু মংগলবাৰে আমাক কৈছিলে তোমালোকৰ 1000টো দিব বুলি কিন্তু আমি পোৱা নাই এতিয়ালৈকে আমাক খালি ইমানে লাগে কি আমি 3000 টকা দি আমাৰ ঘৰ চলে নেকি কোনোবা চলাব পাৰিব নেকি 3000 টকা দি ঘৰ তথাপিও আমি মানি লৈছো কিন্তু আমি ইমান বুঝা আমাক দিছে আমি এইখিনি কৰিব নোৱাৰো আৰু কোভিডৰ কাম আমি যেতিয়ালৈকে পইচা নাপাওঁ আমি নকৰো
আমাৰ এতিয়া দুখীয়া পৰিয়ালে সেইটো দিগদাৰ হয় অকমান পইচা পাতিবোৰ হলে মুকলি হলে ভাল লাগে আৰু যাতে সবেইতো একে লগৰে হওঁ আমি পইচা কেইটা পালে ভাল হয় আৰু তেনেকে এতিয়া মাহে মাহে বন্ধ হৈ থাকিলে আমাৰ অকমান অসুবিধা হয়
And news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thank you.
Is Tripura Motha the new tribal phase in Tripura? How much can Motha impact Tripura polls? Can divided IPFT sway tribal opinion? Is Pradyut Debarma Tripura's new tribal icon? Watch the big debate, Tripura Royal Party.
Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain. Tonight at 8 p.m. Repeat at 10 p.m.
Oh. বাহ
অভূতপূৰ্ব ভেৰাইটি অপূৰ্ব মূল্য ডাউনলোড মিছো
সুগন্ধ ৰং আৰু সোৱাদ খাতি
এভৰিডে জিভাত দিয়ে আচল জুতি
এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ 100% টেষ্ট এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ বেষ্ট
Evening Prime, the prime time news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Is Tripura Motha the new tribal phase in Tripura? How much can Motha impact Tripura polls? Can divided IPFT sway tribal opinion? Is Pradyut Debarma Tripura's new tribal icon? Watch the big debate, Tripura Royal Party.
Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain. Tonight at 8 p.m. Repeat at 10 p.m.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Samachar Northeast is brought to you by
Everyday Spices.
TVS Jupiter 125, ज्यादा से भी ज्यादा, विमल इलायची, लिया अगरबत्ती, TVS Apache RTR and Himalaya Purifying Neem Face Wash, pimple free healthy skin का expert.
पूर्वोत्तर में बारिश और भूस्खलन से भारी जानमाल का नुकसान। मेघालय के गारो हिल्स में भूस्खलन से 3 लोगों की मौत। सिक्किम के बारदांग में भूस्खलन से आवाजाही बाधित। मौसम विभाग ने जारी किया अलर्ट। हिमंत बिश्व शर्मा मंत्रिमंडल का हुआ विस्तार। नंदिता गरलोसा और जयंत मल बरुआ ने लिया मंत्री पद की शपथ। नंदिता को ऊर्जा और सहकारिता विभाग तथा जयंत मल बरुआ को पर्यटन और पीएचई विभाग की दी गई जिम्मेदारी। राष्ट्रपति चुनाव को लेकर तारीखों का हुआ ऐलान। 18 जुलाई को होंगे मतदान, 15 जून को अधिसूचना होगी जारी। 24 जुलाई को राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद का कार्यकाल हो रहा है समाप्त। गुवाहाटी के हाथीगांव में सनसनीखेज हत्याकांड। पत्नी पर पति की हत्या का आरोप। कामरूप के सोनतली में जमीन से जुड़ी हिंसा में 2 की मौत, 21 घायल। और पाकिस्तान में फिर से हिंदुओं की आस्था पर प्रहार। कराची में उपद्रवियों ने श्री मारी माता मंदिर में की तोड़फोड़। देवी देवताओं की मूर्तियां तोड़ी। नमस्कार, समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं रविंद्र चौहान। रुक करते हैं इस वक्त की ताजा खबरों की ओर। पूर्वोत्तर में फिर से बारिश का कहर बरपा है। क्षेत्र में बाढ़ और भूस्खलन से भारी जानमाल का नुकसान हुआ है। बाढ़ का सबसे ज्यादा असर सिक्किम और मेघालय के गारो हिल्स जिले में देखा जा रहा है। मेघालय में दक्षिण और पश्चिम गारो हिल्स जिले में आई बाढ़ और भूस्खलन में भारी जानमाल का नुकसान हुआ है। कम से कम 3 लोगों के मारे जाने की सूचना है, जिसमें एक महिला और 2 बच्चे शामिल हैं। तीनों मृतक पश्चिम गारो हिल्स जिले के सलमान पाड़ा के रहने वाले बताए जा रहे हैं। मृतकों की पहचान 38 वर्षीय महिला प्रीति सिमराग, 12 साल की अलमोस सिमराग और 3 साल की एमबी सिमराग के तौर पर की गई है। आपको बता दें कि भारी बारिश के बाद वेस्ट गारो हिल्स के गांव बागरे ब्लॉक में भूस्खलन की घटना घटी, जिससे मलबे के नीचे 3 लोगों के दबने से मौत हो गई। इस घटना में सेंग्रिक डी सांगमा नामक अन्य एक व्यक्ति गंभीर रूप से घायल है। इतना ही नहीं, बल्कि भूस्खलन के कारण तूरा और पूरा खासिया इलाके के दोनों तरफ सड़क संपर्क भी ठप हो गई है। इस बीच राहत और बचाव कार्य शुरू कर दिया गया है। दोनों जिलों में हो रही बारिश के बाद इलाके में राहत और बचाव कार्य के लिए जेसीबी को लगाया गया है। पूर्वोत्तर में फिर से बारिश से लोगों की परेशानियां बढ़ गई है। क्षेत्र में बाढ़ और भूस्खलन से भारी जानमाल का नुकसान हुआ है। बाढ़ का सबसे ज्यादा असर आपको बता दें सिक्किम और मेघालय के गारो हिल्स में देखा गया है। मेघालय में दक्षिण और पश्चिम गारो हिल्स जिले में आई बाढ़ और भूस्खलन में भारी जानमाल का नुकसान हुआ है, जहां कम से कम 3 लोगों की मारे जाने की सूचना है। आपको बता दें कि इन लोगों में एक महिला और 2 बच्चे भी शामिल हैं।
পুৰা ধাৰা আৰু বৰষুণৰ ফলত গাঁৱৰ পৰা পুৰা পানী নামি আহিছে। পানী নামি অহাৰ ফলত ইয়াত ৰাস্তা ছিঙি গৈছে। ৰাস্তা ছিঙি যোৱাৰ ফলত আমাৰ গাঁৱত পানী কেনেকৈ সোমাই আছে দেখা পাই আছে। আৰু ৰাস্তা ছিঙি যোৱাৰ ফলত ঘৰ বাৰী পুৰা ভাঙি লৈ গৈছে। ইয়াতে গাঁৱৰ পৰা পানী আৰু আগতো এনেকৈ ঘৰ দুটা ভাঙি লৈ গৈছে। ভাঙি লৈ গৈ এজন আমি গম পাইছোঁ, কিন্তু চাৰিটা নাম বুলি চাৰিটা বেকন বুলি নাম গম পাইছোঁ, আৰু এজন নাম আমি গম নাপাওঁ। কিন্তু দুটা ঘৰ ভাঙি ছিঙি লৈ গৈছে। মানে ইয়াতে এটা ছিঙি লৈ গৈছে আৰু বহুত বেয়া হৈ আছে। ইয়াতে
ঘৰ বাৰী ভাঙি গৈছে। নদীত নদীর থেকে ধার আইছিল, পুরা হাতে একবারে সব ভাঙি চুরে গেছে। বহুত কষ্ট করে ঘরটা দিছি, ঘুমায়ে নাই ঘরটা।
तो ये तस्वीरें आप देख सकते हैं, कितनी भयानक तस्वीरें हैं, जहां घर डूबता हुआ नजर आ रहा है और बाढ़ का पानी पहाड़ी से गुजरता हुआ कितनी भयानक तरीके से इलाकों में घुस रहा है। और 3 लोगों की फिलहाल मारे जाने की सूचना है। मेघालय में सबसे ज्यादा गारो हिल्स और सिक्किम के पहाड़ी जिलों में भी हुई है। मेघालय से हमारे संवाददाता विप्लव हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। विप्लव, इस पर ताजा जानकारी आपसे चाहेंगे, क्या कुछ सुधार होने की गुंजाइश है? किस तरह की खबर फिलहाल आ रही है? विप्लव से संपर्क नहीं हो पा रहा है, लेकिन आपको बता दें जो तस्वीरें आई हैं मेघालय के वेस्ट गारो हिल्स और